This is the third time I'm trying to film this, in case you're wondering. The first set of books I got is from Amazon, or are, you'd think the coffee would be helping me, not hurting me right now. Either or, doesn't matter. Actually it does, that sounds like a good thing to say. She leaves her large paint, this is, wow. Hi everyone, it's Audrey and welcome back to Chapter and Converse. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a book haul. It's actually going to be all a book haul, but it's like not a huge book haul. Anyway, I've accumulated a few books over the course of like the past month or so. So some of these are books that I ordered in October from Book Depository and they didn't get here because it just takes longer, but well worth it. And then a few that I've picked up and one that I won. So I have talked about these books during my Nano vlogs, but in case you missed them or you just like to see it all in one place, I thought we would just get into a book haul as I am currently stacking my book outlet cart to prepare for Black Friday, which is nuts, I realize. So here we go, here comes some books. The first few books I got are from Amazon and they had a buy two get one free promotion, so ding dong, I bought 3. And the first one is Evvie Drake Starts Over by Linda Holmes. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know if this is Evvie or Evie Drake, but this is contemporary, I think with like some romance to it. It came onto my radar through a plug by Taylor Jenkins Reid and a recommendation through her. So I imagine it's probably similar, I would think, to kind of her pre-Evelyn Hugo books is sort of the vibe I'm getting from it. I haven't read it yet, but I might actually pick it up, like now, basically. But it's about a woman named Evvie. She lives in a sleepy seaside town in Maine, and about a year ago her husband was killed in a car crash and she is obviously coping with that loss. And then we have at the same time, we have this guy Dean, who was a former major league pitcher, who back in New York City is wrestling with what miserable athletes living out their worst nightmares called the yips. Which reminds me of a Psych episode where Sean has the yips. But anyway, so long story short, Dean winds up in the same town because of a mutual connection between Dean and Evvie, and then they wind up meeting, and he moves into an apartment in the back of her house. So basically they are both dealing with some stuff, but they kind of make a deal that neither of them wants to talk about it. But I think they sort of help each other through their individual crises that they're going through. So I don't know if this is friends to lovers. I don't know if this is just friendship between the two. I'm not really sure where it goes. I don't want to totally know where it goes, but I'm excited to read it. And I'm excited for like a non-thriller, which is why I think I might pick this up now because it's still NaNoWriMo and I can't read a thriller while trying to write one. So I might pick this one up, and it's less than 300 pages, so it feels manageable to me. The second book I picked up is The Last House Guest by Megan Miranda. And this is, I think it's her 3rd adult. She's written a whole bunch of books. I read All the Missing Girls a couple years ago when it first came out, which is what turned me on to her, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. That was sort of a like woman returns to her small hometown where something happened years ago and something's happened in the present day, and the present day threatens the past coming out and all this stuff. But the cool thing about that book is it was told in reverse, which is just, it's incredibly genius the way it is done, and it was a really good book. I have her second book, Perfect Stranger, on my shelf. Haven't read it yet, but I've heard some great things about this, and this is coincidentally also takes place in Maine. And there are 2 girls. One girl is sort of local, and then there are all these rich families that come up in the summer and sort of have their summer houses. And one of the local girls and one of the rich girls sort of form a friendship, and every summer they kind of hang out with each other. And then they are, I want to say maybe they're in their 20s now. They're older, they're not teens, but basically the summer rich girl winds up dead. So all sorts of questions abound. I don't know if this is told in 2 timelines, but I'm super curious. Like I said, I really enjoy her writing, so I picked this one up. And then the last one I got from Amazon is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I fell for the hype. I felt for all the chatter about it. I need to know. And it was part of this deal, so how can I not? This is Yale, this is secret societies. There's some sort of supernatural element to this, is my understanding. It's her first adult book. I haven't read any of her other books, so I've heard mixed reviews on this in that some people love it, some people don't. I don't know if some people expect it to be more like, sorry, it's reflecting, her other books. So I'm interested to have this be my first Leigh Bardugo because I don't have any preconceived notions about her other stories or her writing. Some people said this is a slow burn. So I've heard a lot of things about it. It's obviously not going to stop me because I got the book and I'm just really curious about it. So this is 100%, I am having FOMO, so much chatter about this all year long, so I finally got it, or it just came out, but so I got it. And then, sorry, this is really reflecting with the light. I had been listening to a bunch of podcasts with Leigh Bardugo, which is how I got turned on to her and started to have more of a curiosity about it. So I will say that fed into my desire to have this book as well, because her process and her writing and her entire story of how she became a writer and her career is fascinating to me. So it all kind of interweaves how most things do, and how I kind of pick up a lot of new writers is by learning about them as authors themselves, and then I pick up their work. So I would like to say I'm going to read this in December. There's no way my brain is going to be able to manage it until Nano is over, but I would like to get to this book and I can let you guys know what I think of it. The next book I got was a Goodreads giveaway. People really win these things. And it's CJ Tudor's The Other People. So this is her new book. It comes out, it's debatable. Like on the side it says January 28th, but somewhere else it said February. So I don't know. It's coming out the beginning of 2020. But there's no description at all on what this book is actually about. This light, it is so dark and rainy and disgusting here today that I finally caved and pulled out some of my artificial lighting to make it not be pitch black in here, but it's reflecting off the books. So it's the price we pay is to be able to see me and not have me sit in the dark. But it's a new thriller. I don't have any idea what it's about. I really don't care because I really like CJ Tudor. So I read The Chalk Man back in, I want to say April of this year, and I really enjoyed it. And it is the book that is often referred to as similar to Stephen King's It. I have not read it, so I don't understand the similarities other than I know that it is about a group of young kids where something happens in the past and then we see them in present day, I believe. And it's the same with The Chalk Man, but I really enjoyed it. And I know that she's a fan of Stephen King, so it's not a shock that it's an homage to him in any way. But I didn't read her second book, I think it's called The Hiding Place or A Hiding Place. It has a different name in the UK, but I heard a lot of like not so good reviews of that book. I would still like to check it out because I do enjoy her as a writer. I enjoyed The Chalk Man, so obviously I'm going off one book, but I'm excited to read her newest one. And then I actually have, is it A Hiding Place or The Hiding Place? Isn't that awful? It's probably not even gonna say in here. The Hiding Place. I have it in my cart for book deposit or book outlet right now for the Black Friday sale, and we'll see kind of depending on where I'm at if I decide to pick it up. But I won this, so I will check out this arc and I will let you guys know what I think of this one as well, obviously. And then the last 4 books I have are from Book Depository, which is why I kept saying that. And I realized I didn't actually talk about these in my Nano vlog because I think they came, I don't even know. It doesn't even matter. I didn't talk about them before. So this is actually the first time I'm going to talk about these books. Although the first book I did bring up in another one of my videos. So the first book I have is one that I also want to try and read before the end of 2019, and that's Never Have I Ever by Jocelyn Jackson. Sorry. So this is domestic mystery thriller suspense, I believe. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book. This takes place in a neighborhood, the group of friends. So it says it starts as a game night at a book group one night. Never have I ever done something I shouldn't. But Amy Way has done something she shouldn't. And Rue, the glamorous newcomer to Amy's suburban neighborhood, knows exactly what that is. So secrets, threats, reveals, all sorts of things. It's kind of giving me the Someone We Know Sherry LaPena vibes, which I really enjoyed, and I just finished that the beginning of November. So I love these neighborhoody, they always remind me of like Desperate Housewives, that kind of thing, in the sense with like the neighborhood and the murder and the mystery and the group of friends. So I'm very excited for this. And like I said, I've heard tremendously good things about it. The next book I picked up. So I have been watching a lot of Alexa Dunn's channel, and she is AuthorTube and then is also kind of doing a bit of BookTube lately, but primarily an author. She has a new book. I don't know if it's out now or coming out, and then she just wrote her first YA thriller, which is coming out 2021. So I've been following along kind of her vlogging journey and her writing journey, but she makes a ton of great recommendations on books, and we seem to have very similar taste. So another book that I got from her, sorry, it's all these bookmarks that you get with the books, is called The First Mistake by Sandy Jones. And she wrote The Other Woman, which I haven't read yet, but has been on my list. And then I heard about this one and it sounds very exciting to me. So it's For Alice, Life Has Never Been Better. After the death of her first husband, she's remarried with a successful business, 2 children, and a beautiful house. In Beth, she also has the best friend she's always wanted, a friend without judgment. She is the most trustworthy and loyal person Alice knows. So when Alice begins to suspect her husband Nathan is having an affair, she turns to Beth to help her find the truth. She can trust Beth, can't she? So here we go again with, you know, complicated relationships with women, some sort of mystery. Again, kind of seeing a theme here. It kind of has that little feel of, you know, maybe a little Desperate Housewives-ish. I don't know how neighborhoody this is, but I love sort of the domestic suspense thriller to it. I'm also, like I said, very curious about The Other Woman. So we will see, but this has gotten some really good reviews and I'm intrigued. And then the next one, I would say after I was reading The Vanishing Season, which was that like creepy as all get out ghost story, horror, YA, thriller, suspense, sci-fi. I don't know if I would go, no, more like sort of like horror ghost story kind of a thing. I was just looking for other books sort of similar-ish to that. I don't know. And somehow I came across this book called The Furies by Katie Lowe. And I feel like this might have even been from like a Book Riot email I got, but like it was while I was reading The Vanishing Season, it reminded me sort of those vibes. And the tagline here is "You'd kill to be one of them." And this is by Katie Lowe. Sorry, I know we're getting a lot of glare from my light. So the back of this says obsession, witchcraft, murder. And then a quote on it. It says, "A brilliant book about the power, vulnerability, and rage of teenage girls, and it couldn't feel more timely." So this is 1998. You had me there. A 16-year-old girl is found dead on school property, dressed in white and posed on a swing. No known cause of death. 4 girls know what happened. They've kept their silence until now. So I don't know, I'm just super intrigued. So teenage girls, you know, I like that. And then it sounds like, I don't know if it's like super far in the future or if we stay in 1998. I didn't read too much about it. I'm obviously not gonna flip too far ahead. So I don't know. It looks like maybe it stays in 98, but either way, this has been out in the UK for a little bit. It just came out in the US recently, and I was actually going to pick it up, but it was cheaper on Book Outlet or Book Depository. Get it right, girl, get it right. Cheaper on Book Depository, and I liked this cover way better. So once again, the UK comes through in the cooler cover category, but it just sounds like a good girls mystery, like I said, witchcraft thriller. So kind of gave me some Vanishing Season vibes, and maybe like a little PLL kind of something going on between all the girls keeping a secret, and you know, 2 can keep a secret if one of them is dead, right? Which brings me to, I didn't even mean to do that. Look what I just did. Two Can Keep a Secret. Or Glaring Something Fierce by Karen McManus. So first up, let me say, I'm becoming super addicted to these painted edges. Every book should have these, I think. I didn't even know this was a thing until it showed up in the mail, but I'm loving this cover. So this is, Karen McManus wrote One of Us is Lying, which is a book that I didn't love, didn't hate, but my expectations were completely off about it. So before I talk about this, One of Us is Lying seems to be one of those books that like so many people love. And it is 5 kids go into detention and one of them doesn't make it out alive. And when I read the pitch on this, it was sort of like a breakfast club for the new generation. And for anyone from my generation who remembers Breakfast Club, the entire movie takes place in detention. So I had assumed the entire book was going to take place in detention and they were trying to figure out kind of locked room mystery what happens. But this is not a spoiler. Detention is chapter 1 and somebody dies. And then the whole book is sort of the aftermath of it. So it doesn't make it a bad book, but it's not what I thought it was going to be. So I didn't love it as much as some other people did because I thought it was going to be something other than what it was. I am kind of curious about the sequel to that, which comes out in January. But either way. So Alexa Dunn was talking about this book and that she was a fan of it. And this takes place in a small town. So Echo Ridge is the name of the town. So it says, this picturesque town nestled near the Canadian border experienced its first tragic loss in 1995 when high school senior Sarah Corcoran vanished while walking home from the library. Then 5 years ago, homecoming queen Lacey Kilduff was found dead in the aptly named Murderland Halloween Park. Now the killer claims to be back. A small town that keeps losing its homecoming queens. 2 murders still unsolved. Echo Ridge is not a good place to be popular. So I believe there's dueling timelines in this, or at the very least we've got past mysteries and then a current mystery. And then I think it's like a brother and sister wind up going to this town to like live with their grandmother or something like that. Not even 100% sure, but I'm curious about it. It's giving me a little of the Nancy Drew CW vibes where like I can't think of the name of what the summer queen, whatever she was. It's like homecoming queen, but it's called something else in the opening scene of the Nancy Drew series. She died 20 years ago, and then somehow that murder is linked to something that's happening in the present day in Nancy Drew. So it kind of reminds me of that as well. But I'm curious about it. I don't dislike Karen McManus's writing. I just, like I said, had different expectations about the story of One of Us is Lying, but I would like to give her another go. And then again, I'm so excited because I think this is such a beautiful book. So that just sort of made it a bonus. So once again, there we have it. That's the newest books that I got. I think, like I said, I might try and pick up Evvie Drake now. I'm super missing reading. I am doing a ton of writing for Nano. It's going well, although I am in the past few days really starting to feel the burnout, and I'm really missing stories. So I have been reading a few nonfiction books. I've been doing some nonfiction audio, which is good, but I'm really missing getting lost in a story. So I will keep you guys posted when I read all of these books, obviously, and share all my thoughts, feelings, and other such things. If you guys have read any of them, let me know what you think about them. And let me know if you've picked up anything good lately. So I will see you guys super soon. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for spending part of it with me. And yeah, like I said, I'll see you next time around. Bye, guys.